prayer. And good morning, everybody. Wow, it's so good to see you. It's so good to be up here because I get to see all your smiles. Um, but yeah, thanks for letting me be part of the band. That was not planned, but I just felt like the Spirit guided me. And actually, I like to sing. I always love karaoke, but of course, I'm never confident in my abilities to sing in front of people and that sing well. So it was always like a dream or a hope that I wished to be part of the band. Not the pastor, but being part of the band. But God has different plans for me, and I'm really grateful that each and every one of you are here. Thank you for walking this past week with Heavenly Parent, with true parents, with each other. And let's start a new week together, shall we? All right. I also want to give gratitude to all of you for really showing up and really offering your heart and love to President Damian Dunkley this past Thursday. As you know, right now he is in Seattle. Yeah, he just on Friday morning, early morning, he went back to New York, got ready and prepared to now he's in Seattle. He's going to be touring three other communities there, and then he'll go to Korea with his wife, and then continue his tour back in the West Coast. So let's keep him and Yumiko-san in our prayers for safe traveling, but also for the mission that he's doing, which is really spreading true mother's love, as well as being able to receive any energy from the members and offering that to True Mother. And also at this time, I just wanted to let everybody be acknowledged that actually in 2 days, February 17th, is the the start of a new year, in a lunar new year. It's the We're gonna be celebrating, or it will be the 13th anniversary of uh, Chanoguk Foundation Day, as well as in coinciding in celebration is the True Parents' birthday. And so I did send out an email last night, or actually thanks to Alyssa supporting me in that. Yeah, there's some information that I want everybody to just kind of be aware and participating in daily prayer, offering a donation that you can really give from your heart, as well as some suggested readings. There are links in that email in which you can find the suggested readings and a daily schedule of how much you can read. But of course, you are the owners of your life, so whatever your heart feels and that you can offer, please make that offering in this 13 days from February 17th to March 1st. So sorry, it seems like I'm making another set of announcements, but I just really wanted to express that from my heart. And so now I'd like to go into today's message. So I was thinking, like, okay, what should this message be about? Um, it's my first sermon or official sermon here, but also just kind of riding on the energy and that President Dunkley was here of really the Higher Ground tour, and really been prayerfully thinking, like, okay, I guess a message about like our relationship with Heavenly Parent and myself, or each and every one of you, is always a good place to start. But I want to go a little bit more deeper into delving into our identity as members, as Family Federation members. And because we're ending this 13th year of Chanoguk, it brought me to this, the motto that our true mother, whom we respectfully refer to as Holy Mother Han, given to us at the start of the 2025. She said, "In the 13th year of Chanoguk, when we attend the Creator, Heavenly Parent substantially, let us, the blessed families around the world, become true sons and daughters of Chanoguk, who fulfill our responsibility as the chosen people in unity with true parents." And just to reiterate, Chanoguk is the Korean term of substantially established in this kingdom of heaven here on this earth. And so it's a big goal. It's a big dream that we have as a movement, worldwide movement. And our Holy Mother Han, I would like to point out 2 points that we, as the blessed families, members of the Family Federation, are to become true sons and daughters, and that we are chosen people. But I first want to talk about chosen people, because that comes first. The fact that we are already here, we were chosen by our heavenly parent and true parents. We then become true sons and daughters, as the motto states. And so I want to talk first about the chosen people aspect, and also take an example from the history of previous chosen peoples. So first we have the Israelites. We have a whole book called the Bible, dedicated, of course, it lays out the providence of God. It talks about God's story, but a big chunk of it is really dedicated to these group of people, the Israelites, because they were chosen by God to welcome Jesus, who stands as the only begotten Son. And as chosen people, we see that there are a lot of guidances from heaven. The first 3 points actually comes just from the story of Moses. And with the burning bush, I don't know if anyone's have ever come across a burning bush that's burning naturally, but most likely if you ever come across it, someone else set light on it. But in his case, he not only saw a bush that was burning, but also heard God's voice directly, heaven's voice. And also the 10 plagues, when he was trying to get his people free out of the Egyptian Pharaoh's rule. No human power is able to turn the lake into blood, be able to bring locusts flying from one side to the other, and really fill the whole grasslands and ruin the harvest. All of this cannot be done by man or woman, but instead it was guided by heaven, because heaven wanted to protect these people. And then even after setting his people free, God guided them to the land of Canaan with pillars of salt during the day and pillar of fire by night. And then we even see, fast forward many years later, now at the birth, at the time of God's only begotten Son, Jesus, people like Mary, his mother, high priests like Zechariah, received revelation that Jesus is going to come, that this is my Son in whom well I am pleased, and that this is a special person in God's providence, in God's heart and mind. But we understand how, unfortunately, that yes, there's heaven's guidance, and with blessings comes responsibility. And so we think and we ask the question, did the Israelites fulfill their responsibility? Unfortunately, no, they failed. Even at the time of Moses, was it really necessary for the Israelites to wander 40 years in the wilderness, in the desert? So long that even the people started to complain that it's hot, that there's no food, there's not enough water, and that they even started comparing that the life being as a slave was better than being out wandering in the desert. But we can think that if those people were united, if they were able to just be humbled by the guidance that they were received from heaven, then maybe they would have had a different outcome. If only Mary, Joseph, Zechariah, John the Baptist, at the time of Jesus, were able to come together and unite on the inspiration and the guidance that they received from heaven, then history would have been different, where God's only begotten Son would have been able to fulfill his mission that he came for. But don't take it from me. Let's take it from Holy Mother Han. She says, a chosen people, responsibility and duty always follows a chosen people. If we are to look at the results, however, the chosen people of Israel could not fulfill their responsibility. This was a message Holy Mother Han gave back in September 4th of 2020, when she was celebrating the 8th anniversary of the Holy Ascension of Samyang Moon, one of our co-founders. And so this is the heartache that she, representing Heavenly Parent, is feeling and experiencing. That there was a chosen people at a certain time, but they failed to fulfill their responsibility. And so now fast forward to the present times. She also proclaims that Korea is the chosen land. Koreans are the chosen people. And then we see the similarity and parallels that heaven has guided them for 5,000 years. We're starting to understand this truth or perspective in the more recent years, that Holy Mother Han has been able to write the epic history of the chosen Han Korean people. I don't exactly remember the title, but yeah, it's a history about how Heavenly Parent has been working throughout the Korean people and guiding them step by step. And we see in historical history that, heaven has protected the nation from invaders. A very prominent general in Korean history is General Yi Sun-shin, or Sun-shin Yi, how we say it in English. He was a general who was facing against so many odds. At that time, his biggest enemies were the Japanese Navy. And despite being much of a smaller naval force that he had, compared to a larger fleet that the Japanese Navy had, logically you would think that this was a losing battle. But with his determination and his complete conviction in serving his king and serving his people and protecting the people, heaven was able to work through him in being able to protect the Korean nation, Korean peninsula, many years ago. And even within a previous century, there was the Korean War, where it was a civil war between the North and the South Korean people, or the northern regime, the communist regime, trying to overtake the southern Korean part of the peninsula, and trying to paint the whole entire peninsula or this nation as a communist nation. But heaven, because God, Heavenly Parent, has been consistently working through these people to send the second coming of Christ and the only begotten daughter, Heavenly Parent could not have this nation become communist. And so that's why, miraculously, Heavenly Parent moved 16 UN nations to come to this aid of this tiny, back then, secularly would have known as an insignificant country for young people younger than me, shed blood for an unknown country. America was one of them. Because for some people, they may not have understood heaven's will, but they understood that democracy was something that needed to be saved. And it's through this democracy that would prevent, or supposedly prevent, the same mistakes that happened to Jesus 2,000 years ago. And so we ask now the question, are the Koreans fulfilling their responsibility? Well, it's still a story that's unfolding. We understand, especially when we were able to come this past Thursday with President Dunkley, and of course, even before that, we hear news about the unjust detention of Holy Mother Han, of this religious persecution that's going on with our Family Federation brothers and sisters out in Korea. And of course, it started before in Japan. So not just our brothers and sisters in Korea are the chosen people, but all of Koreans are the chosen people. And we need to be able to offer prayers as Americans to have these brothers and sisters move in their hearts and open up to be able to receive the words of Holy Mother Han. She states, notably, the Korean race is a people that heaven has embraced and nurtured for 2,000 years. The Korean people have been highly educated in the philosophy of filial devotion, of revering heaven, and in filial piety to their parents. The day must come when this nation, which is the chosen people, becomes completely one with true parents and proudly declares in front of all people living today that they have become a heavenly unified Korea, a Korean people that lives together with heavenly parent. So even in the history, in their upbringing of culture, you can see that filial piety, revering and attending their parents, who in the family structure, the parents are doing their best to represent heavenly parent, God in the family for their children. But as a nation, as a people, they have been growing up in that kind of culture. And that is the culture in which heaven has been guiding them. And for them to be able to stand up and own up to their own identity as the chosen people at this time. So what about us? From the motto, we can tell that Holy Mother Han has also declared that we, as blessed families, members of the Family Federation, are chosen people. And I think you can also just look into your own history, into your own past. How has heaven guided you? There must have been somebody or some revelation or inspiration that guided you to get to know and meet our true parents. Was that your doing? I think it was heaven's guidance. God, our heavenly parent really being desperate, calling out to the world to be able to follow true parents at this time. But you were the ones who were able to respond. Out of the thousands and the millions and the billions of people that Heavenly Parent was trying to reach and still trying to reach, you are the ones who were able to respond. So in one sense, you fulfilled your responsibility to a certain degree because there's so much more we can do. But I just wanted to acknowledge and really honor each and every one of you because you have walked a challenging course. Because just like how we see in the stories of Jesus and our true parents, they did not have it easy. And as disciples of Jesus and true parents, we too don't have it easy, but we're sticking through. And that's because of the faith that you have developed and continuously developing to this day, and you're letting the Spirit guide you. But then the responsibility that we have, Mother says, our true mother says it clearly. While I am still living on earth, all blessed families around the world should actively work and strive to expand the environment true parents have created, so that they can teach others that from the outset, God the Creator has been our parent, and his dream is to realize the kingdom of heaven on earth and live here together with us. So this is what Holy Mother Han says is our responsibility. For blessed families, actively work and strive to expand the environment true parents have created, so that we can teach naturally that God the Creator has been our parent and that this is the kingdom of heaven. Maybe some of you don't feel that this is the Ohio Family Church is the kingdom of heaven. Maybe not yet. But you're still here and you have hope and you're holding on to that hope that we can build this community into something much better than what you could have ever imagined. And, I questioned God. I'm like, okay, God, so do you think I can do that? I don't even know 80% of the names in this room yet. But still, I want, in my faith, of wanting to follow and hold on to the belief that Heavenly Parent has chosen me to come here, and my role seems to be pastor. But every one of you has a role to play as well. This kingdom of heaven on earth that we're trying to create is not a place where just pastors and congregants, churchgoers go. There's also entertainers. There's also musicians. There's also athletes. There's academics. What else is important in society? Everything in this. Businessmen, businesswomen. Every aspect in society is waiting for us to be able to touch their lives and be able to connect them to our true parents and ultimately to Heavenly Parent. And this is the responsibility that our Holy Mother Han is asking us to do. Because however amazing our true parents may be, they are just two people. Two people against the world. Now that sounds like a losing battle, but they have heaven's guidance. And through heaven's guidance, they were able to touch each and every one of our hearts. And it's through heaven's guidance and our undertaking of fulfilling our responsibility will we be able to touch and reach the hearts of the Korean people in Korea. Because we cannot forget about them. In heaven's eyes, they are also the chosen people who are waiting for us to be able to help them recognize who they are. And it's through this message that our Holy Mother Han gives, I'm able to recognize and fully understand what President Dunkley meant when Genesis, it was you who asked him, what can we as the next generation, or maybe even rephrasing it, what can we as people at this time alive can do to support Holy Mother Han in her situation right now? And President Dunkley responded with music. Get into music. Get into culture. We need to really recreate and reshape the culture that we are living here in Columbus, Ohio, and then expand that to the whole Midwest region and then to the whole America, North America, and then eventually to the world. It's through the teachings of our true parents that we're able to recognize and totally own the culture in which we can be able to have this filial piety, pious heart towards our Heavenly Parent. Because I know many of you are parents, and when your son or daughter is able to offer you a gift or just a kind of or act of kindness in which you didn't necessarily ask for, then I'm sure it melts your heart and that you're just moved by the love that they give you. My 9.5-month-old daughter, she is very limited in the things that she can do. But what she really excels at is when she looks at her appa, she smiles. And that brings me so much joy. Because in that smile is sincerity and a genuine happiness that she is able to just see her appa. Appa means father in Korean. And so wherever you may be, I know there is a role you can play. And I know there's a role that you have to better this community. If this is not the community in which you feel that is the kingdom of heaven yet, then you can tell me all your frustrations, and then after you let it all out, let's work together. Because we are the community. We are all that we have currently, but we can be so much more when we come together. And so with that, I hope I can give you some clarity on what is our responsibility as the chosen people of the blessed families, and that, this is really a message that comes from our Holy Mother Han. And I just hope I was able to deliver it. And now at this time, I'd like to invite you all to have a pair share with the person next to you. If it's an odd number, then of course feel free to be in groups of 3. Whatever works, either 2 or 3. And please ask yourselves the question, what gifts or talents do you have that you can share in creating a heavenly culture here at Ohio Family Church? And so if I can get some reflective music on, and I'll give you 5 minutes to share and discuss with your partners.